to topic number 2. Now I'm going to tell you guys, I have grabbed some videos, okay? And yes, I've clipped them and edited them, and I'm going to be talking all through them. If you want to see the actual video, I've left links to watching the video. So don't be annoyed because I'm getting ready to do the things, okay?
Thimbles. I like hand sewing. I also know that it's much easier for me to use a thimble that has a hard tip and it has this
So
great
we've got
silicone cuff.
Donna
And if your
Robertson.
needle gets
Nobody's
stuck
shocked
while you're
that I
doing your
filled her. I've
stitching,
been doing
you can
her
just grab the
3-yard quilt
needle
series
and pull.
constantly.
This becomes a
Right here,
needle
she's
puller.
showing this
So
thimble.
it's
I want
always
this
right
thimble.
there
I see
whenever
it, but she
you
made me want it
are
because you're
ready
able
for
to
it.
push
Now,
and
these
actually like
are the
lock
thimbles.
onto
They
it and
come in
pull the
3
needle.
different sizes.
Need to have
They
it.
are
Want
either
it.
small, medium, and
Small, medium,
large.
and large. I want
I
them all. I
actually
don't know
used the
which size I'm going to
large when
like
we were
best.
laughing
The
earlier
next time I'm in a
because Hannah
store, I'm
uses the
picking these
very
thimbles up.
smallest one.
Tell
So
me
we're
if you
just
guys
kind of
see
judge
these
how
or if
big
you
your
guys have used
hand
these at
is
all.
and what size thimble. We're going to show you how to use these are the thermal thimbles. When you're
Thermal
pressing your
thimbles, I want
binding,
these
you want a
too.
really
But you
good
guys know that
crisp
I'm a notions girl, so I
press,
always
and
want the
these work
notions.
wonders. It
All the
comes in 3
notions.
different
But do you
sizes.
guys know how
I'm
many
going
times
to show
I've
you how
burned
to
my
use
finger
these. I'll
messing
also
around
show you
with
how
some
to put them
thimbles? I
on
mean,
and
messing
off
around with that iron. I
without
just,
damaging them.
all the time. Where have those been my whole
Best thing
life?
is whenever you are pressing on one finger, they come in 3
Okay, so then
sizes,
she shows you how to
and then you
take them
put
off. Somebody
one
pulled
on the
it and then
thumb.
they ripped it, so
So
don't do
that's
that.
how
Let's
I
not
put these
rip
on. I'm
the
going to show you how to
thimbles.
take them off in just a
Just
minute.
going ahead and roll them off.
Okay, so now
Next
you've got
coming up
those on,
is
and you
her
take your
binding
iron.
technique.
You want to give it
The
a little
reason why I'm
stretch
showing this
with
is
your
because she
best
has this
press and
planted
fold
into her
this into
3-yard
the
quilts, and
center.
I couldn't figure
And
out
then if
what
you
on
can
earth.
take an iron
Let me
while
actually
you are
mute this for a
holding
second
this.
or pause this for a second. I couldn't figure out why on earth I would want to use her binding technique, but what it is if you are down to your last little bit of scraps and you're like, I want to be able to make a coordinating binding, and she has you cut to these strips and they're like 1 1/4, and I'm like, what? I usually cut a 2.5 inch strip or a 2 1/4 inch strip, fold it in half, sew it to the back of the quilt, and then I pull mine to the front. You guys might sew it to the front and pull it to the back. I get it. That's kind of what we know. But then she's got this little tiny bit of strip, and I'm like, how is this going to become a binding? I showed you guys how I did it on one of my videos, one of those traditional like country video quilts that I did. And it was my first time ever doing this. And I want to say she calls it, I forget what this binding technique is called. It's something like, I forget. But what she does is she takes this super duper tiny strip, folds it in half, then folds it in 1/4, and then she sews it. But what she never showed us was how on earth we get these corners together. Turns out you do your corners the exact same way that you would when you're sewing your binding on regularly. I figured it out. I showed it on my video, but this is her way of showing it. And if you get a chance to actually watch it and you're new, it's cool. It's cool. Hey, Jamie. Thanks for showing up. Okay, so now I'm going to go on ahead and let this play. Again, I've clipped it. It's going to jump around. If you want to see the actual video, go ahead and check out her video. The link is in the description. Don't leave me now, but it will it'll be down there.
In place. You can put your
And I
iron
don't know that I would
tips in
use
there and
the
move
iron
right down
quite the way
that
that she is
until
doing
you've
it
got this really
between
good
her fingers
crisp
like that. But I
corner.
do want those thimbles, and I
Now,
haven't seen
to
them
take those
anywhere.
off, this is very important when you take them
Yeah,
off.
Gail, me too.
One
Now
customer
that you've
calls
seen
and
them at
says she can
Joann's, you
pull
want
the
them?
tip
Yeah,
right
I
off,
want them. But then
and
I
she
want all
reached
the
there and
things.
grabbed
So,
it and pulled it
it's
off.
me.
Well, the best
All
way
the
to take
notions.
them off is
What is
now we're
this
going
binding
to
called? Why
start
can't I
putting
think of it?
the
I
binding
don't know.
press. The first
Hey,
thing you want to
Linda.
do is put right sides together. You will set your machine for a scant
And
quarter
do a
inch.
scant
A
quarter
scant
inch. Don't
quarter
try to do a
inch is
full quarter
about
because then you're
one
going to have some
stitch
issues with
more
rolling that sucker
narrow
over
than a quarter
to the
inch.
front or the back, whichever
I'm
way
going to
that you
use
choose to
my
do it.
crusty gears as
I
I've
get
been
it.
sewing,
You learn these
I
tricks.
lay
Her
a
trick is just
pin
that you stop
right
right
at
here.
the edge of my fabric where it falls off. And as you're sewing,
Glenda
when
made it.
your
Yay.
foot right here reaches that pin, you
Glenda,
still
you giving
have
me
a
a
scant
virtual hug?
quarter
Look at
inch
you
remaining.
being all
So
fancy.
peeking and so forth, but this is the best way to do that. Now you sewed it right there, you stop, you lock stitch, and then this is how you miter your
So
corners.
this is how she does her corners. Perfect. It's the
You
same way
want
that
to
we would have
fold
done
this
it
back.
regularly, but I needed to
It
see
should
it.
make
And
a
so she took
straight
the time to
line
actually do
with
the
the
video,
edge of your piece of
and that makes
fabric
me
here.
happy.
And then the one way you can do this, you just have to remember to take this pin out. You don't want to sew over your pins. So we're going to put a pin there to hold it. You then fold this back over like so. And I need to pull this over a little closer. I'm
And
having
then
a
you're
little
just going to sew
difficulty
down
with
the side
my
once you pulled it
vision from
back.
afar here. Okay. So
Again,
once again,
it's if you're in a pinch and you
you
just
are
have a
going
tiny bit of
exactly
binding
the
left
same.
and you want to
Yep,
go on
turn
ahead
it around.
and
This is exactly the
I think
same
it's
thing
economy
as
binding. That's
this.
what it's called. Economize.
You then start
This is how to
sewing
do it.
right out here
You
on the
really don't
thread.
need all that
Start
extra
right here
fabric.
and
I found
continue
it a
your
little bit
scant
difficult to
quarter
keep it
inch as
straight
you are
when I
sewing.
was
So
because I wasn't
that's the
hand
way
sewing and
to
I was doing it by
miter your
machine,
corners.
and it was a
Put
little
that
bit
sewn
flimsy, but
together.
it really
Take
does
your
work and it looks about the
pins
same.
out. You've basted it together. You want to make sure that
Yellow, you
it's
said you didn't know that
not
either
really
until she explained
jacked.
about the foot.
You know,
Yeah,
your
me either.
um,
And then you just
when
sew these
you're doing
together.
that.
I like that she
Okay,
sews
so
these
that looks
together
like
because trying to
it's
miter your
stitched in
corners,
place.
that's not my gift. I
Now we're
never know
going
which one to
to
flip. It's never
cut
tight enough.
this
I have started actually
and leave
finishing my
just a
binding just like
quarter
this. It's not like
inch.
I'm entering it in a quilt show or anything. So it's like, not a big deal. So that is Donna Robertson from the Fabric Cafe. Again, her link will be in the bio. I just wanted to grab you a little bit. Hey, Dr. Sylvia. I just wanted to grab a little bit of it just to show you guys something that I came across that I think is kind of interesting. All right, now this next video is going to be a little bit longer, but where was this video? What was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago when I was trying to, my new best friend, yay, hey, when I was trying to ruffle stuff. Okay, you guys ready? This is about the ruffler foot.
There's definitely a lot going on with this
This is
foot, but it's
so
very
very
easy to
easy.
install and
Her
use.
link is in the
You
description
do
too.
need to put it into the machine, so the shaft is going to go here. This little U is going to go where the needle is, just like a walking foot.
I bought this
So
foot
it's this up and down
and it
motion
looks just
with
like
the fabric
this
running through that
and it
makes this
works.
work. At the
However,
top,
you cannot
you will see
use
these little
this
notches.
foot for
And
minky
each one of
fabric.
those
I was trying to make
notches
a minky
will do
ruffle so
something
bad, guys.
different.
I wanted it
The
so
first
badly
one
and
has
it
a
was such
number
a
one.
fail. You
That means it's
cannot
going to
ruffle
take a
minky. I don't care
ruffle
what you say. Maybe if I
every
had done
single
it by
stitch.
hand, but
Just pick that up
couldn't get it
and
to
move it.
wrinkle.
Now it's on a
And
six,
so you can move this
which
little
means
thing
it's
here
going to
from
take a
increments. So
ruffle
you can get,
every
every six
six
stitches, it'll
stitches.
ruffle. You
So
can
we're
get
going
it
to
to ruffle
do
every
six
single
stitches,
stitch.
and
That's
it's
kind
going
of
to
what
take a
she's going
ruffle,
through
and
here.
then just start sewing. You're going to see that
Again, I've
foot
clipped and
is
jumped
moving
all around.
forward.
So now I'm getting ready to show you what it looks like. And it works just like this. I bought it off of Amazon for maybe, I
So
don't
it
know,
made
20,
a little
20, 30
pleat
bucks. It
and a
wasn't too
little
expensive
ruffle
either.
every single stitch. So let's lift this up and move it over to the number six. And we're going to notice that we're going to do a pleat
And also, you
and
need
then
to be
six
sure that you're
stitches.
using not super thick fabric.
So we have
Cotton is
six
fine.
stitches
But
and a
when you
pleat.
start doing a couple of
So you
layers,
want
it
it to do
worked, but
some
it didn't work as
flowers
great.
or just a
This
ruffled
is where it
edge.
got
You can
interesting
do
to
it
me.
here. So we're going to
This
see
gives
this
us
top
so
piece
many
ruffled,
ideas and
but the bottom
opportunities. At
is
least it gives me
stitched
some
up.
ideas and some opportunities here. Because I can now start to layer some fabrics and some ribbons on top of one another. So if I'm doing a quilt as you go and I'm
And
laying
we
a
can use
sashing,
ribbon
now the
or
sashing can
anything
get
we
kind of
want
funky.
that
Like now we
goes
can
in
do some things
between.
with it. I can throw a
And we
couple
do
of
have the
different
guides at the top to
ribbons
help
down the
us.
center. And
And we
I
also
think
have the
that's
guides
interesting.
at the
I think
bottom
that's worth
if we
noting
want the
that we can
fabric to
add things
line
like
up
this.
closer to this edge.
I
So
think.
we have a
I
guide
think
on the
so.
side,
Let me know
a
what you guys
guide on
think.
the
Let me know if
bottom,
you guys have
and
ever tried
guides
a ruffle
on the
foot,
top.
if you
So
ever
you can
would try a
really
ruffle
see
foot.
it gathering in
But this is where I was
that
like, oh,
ribbon.
okay, I can put a ribbon. I hadn't seen anybody put a ribbon down the center. And I can decide whether I
You
wanted
can
to
see
gather
where
every
all of
single
that
one,
ribbon has
every
been
other
pulled,
one.
that fabric has been stitched on. And here's that area where we've had 12 stitches in between. So complicated, but it's really easy when we
Laura's
break it
always talking
down.
about something that's so
You can
very easy.
decide,
And that
do we
actually,
want
that foot,
ruffles?
it
Do
works.
we
I've
want
used
big
it. I've
ruffles
played
or
with it.
small ruffles? We have
Probably have some
guides
stuff
that are
coming with
going
it
to
down the
guide
line.
us
We'll
with
see.
that fabric.
Something to play with.
Are we going to ruffle
All right,
just the
this next
fabric
one,
by
it's going to be a
itself
shorter video.
or use the
Something
outer
else I
corners
stumbled
of
across
ruffling right
from
on top of the
Indiana. Hey,
fabric that we
Karen,
want
look
to
at
do?
that.
And of
Indiana
course,
in the
we can still
house.
change the stitch length on our
What? You
sewing
got yours
machine.
in the mail yesterday? Oh, so you were already on it. You already knew. You already knew. You're about that ruffle life. All right. This is the last video of my finds this week of YouTube. Matter of fact, if you guys ever have a video and you guys want me to see it, you want me to review it, you want to know what I think of it, some ideas for it, tag me on Instagram, tag me on Facebook, just send it to me and I'll check it out. Let me know what you like about it too, and we'll check it out. All right, last video. I realized the music is, kind of actually. It was this fabric for me. That reminds me of that Chanel kind of fabric. Michael Miller has, it's like, that's not houndstooth, like a Chanel kind of fabric that I want to try so badly. And this kind of reminded me of that. And it's black and white. And y'all know I'm a black and white girl. I love me some black and white anything. But the way that this block comes together is indeed kind of interesting. I was like, okay, I see you. I see you, block. Hey, Stephanie. Thanks for showing up. Thank you, Karen. Damo's in the house. Thanks for your support, Damo. Look at all those black and whites. Oh, I like the way this comes together. It's simple. It's fast. I like what she did with the black and white fabric. Of course, nothing new there. Oh, look at that. Mm, mm, mm. It finishes at 6x6. I'd probably make mine larger because that's just who I am. I find that I always want to enlarge something. Every time I make something, I want to make it bigger. Never smaller. I'm not into tiny piecing yet. Who knows where this journey will take me, but as of right now, tiny piecing, not so much.